Please keep your focus on your meditation. Slow your breath, please. And deep breathe all the way from your navel. If you do Wahe Guru, Wahe in, Guru out. Allah in, Hu out. Om. When you're doing your Om, make sure at the end you close your mouth and you let it vibrate inside you. Jesus in the same way. Jesus. In, out. This is known as Sas Giras meditation. This is something that you can practice and do during the day as well, as you're working, as you're living your normal life. Let's go back into 1574. India. It was a warm morning. The congregation was gathering together for the morning sadhana. Kirtan, meaning singing religious hymns, and katha, meaning discourse. Sitting on the spiritual seat of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first Guru of the Sikhs, was Guru Amar Das Ji. He was third in line of the succession. Guru Amar Das had served Guru Angad Dev Ji, who was the second Guru, for 12 years. And I would like you to pay a very particular attention as to how he served. Guru Amar Das Ji, his seva meaning his spiritual duty towards the Guru, was to fetch water for him from a running, flowing stream. That stream was 12.5 kilometers away. So past midnight, he would set out to make a daily return trip of 25 kilometers. He would fill the vessel, put it on top of his head, wrap it around with what we call a sarupa, and make his way back. And on his return, he would never face the Guru. He would return backwards. So much respect he had. Come hot summers, come shivering winters, Amar Das carried on with this seva, 12 years, without fail. And during his seva, many people would disrespect him, calling him an old man without a home, without any honor, any dignity, that he was living off his in-law. So many remarks. But he kept quiet. And over the 12 years, it is said that the second Guru did not say anything to him at all. Not a word was spoken. An incident happened which we will not discuss now, which pleased the Guru. And as Guruji was going to pass away, the second Guru, he nominated Guru Amar Das to become the next in line of the spiritual seat of Nanak. And the blessing he was given was Nathamya de Tham, Neotya de Yod, the support for the supportless, the home for the homeless. And at the age of 73, so history says, he became a guru. The respect of the Sangat, the congregation, was immense. And people were simply attracted to his devotion and his humility. For they had all witnessed how in old age he had served the second guru with total respect. Remember, at the age of 70, he was still doing 25 kilometers in the burning heat of India and the monsoons. 70. Guru Angad Dev Ji had a son whose name was Datu. Datu had one eye on the spiritual seat for himself. And when Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second guru, passed away, he was expecting to be the next in line. But the seat went to the disciple Amar Das. In his jealousy, Datu self-proclaims himself as the next guru. And he sets himself up at a place known as Khadur Sahib. However, the congregation, rather than visiting Datu at Khadur Sahib, the followers of Guruji would go to Goindwal, where Guru Amar Das was. And this infuriated Datu. Nobody was coming to him. One day, Datu overheard some of his ardent followers saying that they could not understand how a servant of a guru had overtaken the son of the guru. These words were like petrol to fire. His already burning anger and jealousy became an inferno within him. No longer could he control himself. So he decides to confront Guru Amar Das. The following morning, he makes his way to Goindwal. He reaches Goindwal in the ambrosial hours. And the Divan, the congregation, was sitting with the Guru. And he sees Guruji sitting on the spiritual seat. And many people simply circulating around Guruji, sitting all around Guruji, listening to his words of wisdom. In his anger and his frustration, he pushes his way through the Sangat. And in uncontrolled rage, Datu starts to yell verbal abuses at Guruji. And before Guruji could say anything, Datu kicks the chair on which Guruji was sitting. The aged, frail Guru falls over onto the hard, dusty ground. Remember, Guruji was around 73 at this time. And in a fit of anger, he shouts, "Yesterday, you was my father's servant. Today, you are sitting on his seat. I will not allow this to happen." Instead of getting angry, the aged Guru Amar Das Ji composes himself. Unable to get up because of his age, he slowly crawls towards the chair from which he was kicked off and on which Datu was now sitting. His feeble, shaking hands holds that foot which had kicked him. And with a tear in his eye, Guruji looked at the angry Datu. My son Datu, I am an old man. My bones are brittle. You are a young man, the son of my beautiful Guru. Please forgive me if the impact of your foot on my brittle bones have hurt you in any way. Such was the humility of the Guru. A few disciples who had observed what had played out, they were in tears at what they were witnessing. Datu looked confused. And after massaging Datu's foot, Guru Amar Das Ji gets up and leaves Goindwal and returns back to his ancestral village of Basarke. And the story continues from there. However, let's discuss this incident. There is nothing that a man falls into more easily than the raging ocean of pride. Nothing. Known as Bikram Nadi in spiritual terms. Bhavasagar. And each wave stronger than the one before. So therefore, there is no greater sin that has been expressed in all religious text other than the sin of pride of the human nature. Equally, on the other hand, there is no other attribute expressed in religious text more virtuous than spiritual humility. That is right up there with love and faith. Pride is brainless and groundless, for there is no profit to be gained by pride. Humility is the centerpiece in the store of divine virtues. Those grounded in humility will carry the full force of the divine in their word and thought. I remember my spiritual master used to say to me, son, I cannot even afford to think bad about somebody, because even the power of the thought of the one who is a slave of the divine will be immense. It could do immense damage. Generally speaking, humility has been split in different types. Natural humility, this is just an innate birth character, not spiritual, just a birth character of somebody. Then there is a humbled humility, somebody who has fallen from their high chair because of a particular event or a situation which had led to their downfall. And in religious circles especially, contrived humility, a fake humility, where you go to the temple, you go to see the learned people and you're acting all humble and pious, but the moment you leave, you're the same arrogant person. It's called contrived humility. Sadly, many religious people suffer from this humility, or so-called religious people. Then there is the intentional humility. Basically, that means when you need some help, you change your character, You change the tone of your voice. You change the way you want to behave just so somebody could get you out of an issue. Then there is a spiritual humility. This cannot be practiced. This is simply born from meditation, from blessings of the pious souls. This is why over and over again it is stressed. Sangat kariye sadhaki ant kare nirvaho. Find the society of the pious, not people who can talk good about religion, not people with sweet words. No, somebody who lives and breathes and is dedicated to their teachings of the divine. This humility is also known as garibi or maskini. That simply means a beggar. That simply means that I am absolutely nothing. Main garib, main maskeen, tera naam hai adhara. I am garib, I am maskeen. I have nothing. I am empty. I have no virtues. I have nothing which will please you, my divine. I simply fall in your feet. Do with me as you wish. I have no home to go to. I have no place to go to. Hum rulte phirte Vaheguru. Hum rulte phirte. Koi baat na poochta. Koi baat na poochta. Hum rulte phirte. My divine, I am getting kicked around in this world by the very people who I thought was mine. Nobody is listening to my pleas. Please make me yours. Humility is driven from the word humus, meaning earth. Humility is one of our spiritual formations of the three branches of spiritual attributes. If you remember, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. And those are divine virtues and sweet speech plus humility. And humility is a virtue that all true masters have stressed and adopted. Hathon de phir pala manaye, and when they do something for somebody, they thank them. They thank them. Because somebody has given them the opportunity to do something to serve them. It is not, I have done this for anybody. Thank you. And a good spiritual master will drill this discipline into their disciple. The quality of humility radiated through all the prophets, Jesus, Buddha, Guruji, Krishnji, and the pious souls of the beloved, the saints. And out of the triad that we were talking about, the first quality of humility will set your first steps towards the right direction of spirituality. The first. Humility is the foundation of all other virtues. If you do not have spiritual humility, you will have no virtue that will grow from you. And in a soul in which this virtue does not exist, there cannot be any other virtue. And any other virtue will simply be a mere appearance. Remember that, please. It'll be simply an appearance. Humility is the beauty of spiritual holiness. No spiritual progress can be, will be, ever has been made without humility. All spiritual understandings of the deep secrets of the divine will be realized only in the heart of humility. All scriptures, all saints of all religions stress one thing: humility, humility, humility. But sadly, we are lost in the darkness of Maya. And the end result is vanity, proud, blind to the wisdoms of the scriptures. Remember, no tree can grow except from the root from which it sprang from. Therefore, no tree of divine virtues of the spiritual humility will be born in ego or pride. Divine virtues will only be born from the roots of the divine, your divine scriptures. The root of the company of the blessed souls, the Sangat that you keep. And here's the process. First, find that Sangat which is rooted in the truth, absolute truth, who understands the absolute truth in its Par Brahm form, in its Brahm form, and its Param Atma form. Three aspects of the absolute truth. Brahma, the creator. Paramatma, a little bit of that soul which is in all of us. Then the Brahman, or the Brahm, which is our holy text, the Gurus and the saints. Those who recognize these three aspects of the divine in manifestation will understand the absolute truth. This is what you will understand in the Sangat. First, the two visions will become one vision. Then a process will take place where through blessings, through association, all the weeds that choke the beauty, the soil of the heart, they will soon start being removed. Little by little, little by little, the Sangat will be like a gardener. Once the soil is removed, the weeds are removed, the soil will become fertile. The mind and the heart is now prepared. The mind and the heart is fertile. How? It becomes receptive and it's ready to be seeded. It is no longer questioning. It is now open to be seeded. Then in this congregation of the pious, the heart will be seeded by the Shabd mantra. And as the seeding process takes place, we will begin to die into the Shabd. Meaning, the death of our ego-driven thoughts. our ego-driven thought, arguments, prejudices, they will all start disappearing. And for the first time, this veil will be lifted. And for the first time, this mind will start talking to the divine. The mind starts to converse with the divine. And you know what it says? It has experienced many lives of coming and going and pain and reincarnations. And for the first time, it falls to the feet of the divine. Lord, I am empty without your fullness. My Lord, I am broken without your wholeness. I am helpless without your strength, my Father. I am clueless without your wisdom, not my wisdom, your wisdom. Apart from you, my Father, I am nothing. I need you, I need you, I need you. And when our ego, our pride has fully died into the Shabd, then we will be reborn again within and from that very mantra in which we die. Like a seed that dies into the soil and then is reborn exactly from the same soil, we will die into the Shabd and then we will be reborn, whether that is Allah, whether that is Jesus, whether that is Vaheguru, whether that is Mool Mantra, whether that is Satnam, whichever mantra. So first to be killed by that hand and then to be reborn, a divine birth, a new version of ourselves, more pleasing to the divine, by the same hand that first kills us, is the process. And many will experience hardships in their life as the dying process is happening. Emotional hardship, physical hardship, relationship hardships, many hardships. But this is our self-dying. This is, at that time, a wise spiritualist will understand this is not the time to question. The moment you ask the question, why, you have lost the right to be reborn. Because why is simply a doubt. It's a question. Submit to the process. What we were, we will no longer be. But there are many challenges. This process of dying will not be easy. But it is absolutely fundamental and is necessary if you want to become a spiritualist. This is not a path about talking. This is a very serious path. And in many cases, a very painful path. But what is crumbling inside you is no more than the ego. And what is hidden behind this ego is the beauty of who you really are. Remember, before any honor comes humility. You have to fight, you have to battle, you're the spiritual warriors. What does a good Christian say? Nothing in my hands I bring, simply to your cross I cling. That's it. Nothing. Not how much meditation I do, how much money I've given to charity, nothing. They simply cling to the cross, the feet of Jesus. What does a Muslim say? Oh Allah, nothing in my hands I bring, simply to your name I cling. What does a good Gursikh say? Oh Vahiguruji, nothing in my hands I bring, simply to your name I cling. And same with the good Hindu. Oh Brahma, nothing in my hands I bring, simply to your name I cling. When this mindset becomes prominent, dominant in our hearts, then a process will begin to sprout. And this process is the fruit of spiritual humility. And this spiritual humility will destroy the pride within us and set us free once and for all. Buddha garibi khar chale ho, main bekjar ho. At this moment, we are all caged, suffering in the prison of the me. And as we meditate, the poverty of our personal identity will begin to be lost in the fullness of the divine's eternal greatness. Within our new virtue of humility, our personal identity will begin to lose itself. And for a spiritualist, humility is like an armor shielding a warrior. Our humility, our dependency upon the divine will be that divine shield known as humility. And this humility will shield us from the pains of the illusions of Maya. And like Guru Amar Das, we too can be gifted with the blessings of shielding others from the pain of Maya. And I certainly know my master did. Dukh sukh hite pehe narale, gurmukh seal sanaha hai. And yet, without this understanding, the image of the ego-generated, contrived humility becomes the way of our default actions. And the soul bird in which we are locked is the cage of ego, self, remains a prisoner. Only the key of spiritual humility will unlock this cage and set our soul free to soar the majestic heights of spirituality. And you know, when your soul is free, it'll be like a river that has broken the barriers. The joy of the spiritually humble will flow, will break all barriers within us. We will simply be in bliss. Simply be in bliss. Our soul will swim in the sea of Nam and shine in spiritual radiance. And for the first time, we will understand the grand order of the divine. Only for the first time then. We will simply recognize that we were no more than a drop standing in front of an ocean without any boundaries. Without any boundaries. My master used to say to me, son, one who exalts themselves, standing tall with ego, a time will come they will be humbled. And those who will humble themselves to the divine, a time will come they will be exalted. And when we leave this body with the currency of meditation and humbleness and love, re re darge kahe na ko, aao baithiya dar savdeo. When your soul leaves this body, beautiful, beautiful angels will just come and take you to the divine. They will sit you down. You have been a spiritual warrior. In the force of Maya, you came back and you fought Maya. You've kept your honor. You've kept your spiritual dignity. Well done, my child. That is the honor. Once a great sage by the name of Kabir was reflecting. How humble must I be to be accepted in the kingdom of the divine, he thought. He looks at the ground and he sees a pebble. And he observes this pebble and he looks and looks and looks. And then he writes, Kabir roda hoye raho baat ka, taj man ka abman, aisa koi das hoye, tahe mile Bhagwan. Kabir, I should be like that little pebble, lonely, on the floor, in everybody's feet. Humble. If I could become like that pebble, this insignificant little pebble on the floor, I could meet my divine. Then another thought arises. Kabir, roda hua to kya bhaya, panthi ko dukh de, aisa tera das hai, jiyo dharni mein khe. No, not like that. Because if somebody's foot accidentally hits, even a child, it comes under somebody's feet, it will give them pain. Then he looks deeper and he sees some soil underneath this little pebble. Maybe I should be like that. Soil. Kabir khe hua hui to kya bhayo, jiyo ud lage ang, har jane aisa chahiye, jiyo pani sarvang. Kabir, no, not even like that soil. Because a gust of wind will come and this soil can dirty somebody else's clothes. Not even those values, no. Even not the soil. Maybe I should become like that water which is sitting there. Absolutely pure, flexible, adaptable. Maybe I should become like the water. And many spiritualists will say, water, water, water. They don't understand spirituality. They really don't understand spirituality, not even water. Kabir pani hua to kya bhaya, sira tata hoy. There's a nature of water. It gets hot and cold. Hot and cold, hot and cold. No, so I cannot even be like this water. My temperament cannot blow hot and cold. Then he comes to one conclusion. Har jan aisa chahiye, jaisa hari hi hoye. The lover of the divine must have exactly the same values and the virtues like the divine themselves. Nothing less. A photo image of the divine. And the one who becomes like that, the one who becomes the humble servant of the Lord, will have within them spiritual dignity. They will find their honor in the divine and not in relationships, not in the world, not in money, not in Maya. Because those sort of dignities will let you down today or tomorrow. They're only very short-lived. They will find glory. They will find purpose. They will find status, real status. You will become the king of this world, not artificial status that they take you up and then they kick you down, they build you up and they kick you down, nothing like that. The revelation of the divine will be opened. They will find divine wisdom and divine understanding. And the biggest privilege is that they will be protected by the divine all the time. Remember I told you my master used to say, we are insured by the divine. I have nothing to worry about. That insurance. Remember, we are the light of humility. And when we truly realize that we were the children of the divine, yet living a life of misidentity, then we will begin to shine. The ignorance of darkness will be no more. In humility, the lover and the divine becomes one. Har jan doe ek hai. Har, the divine. Har jan, the lover of the divine, becomes one. 2 to 1. And you know the beauty in this is, the greatest pleasure the lover of the divine has is that they are consistently and continuously searching more ways in which they can humble themselves to the divine. Remember one thing, a glass has to be submerged into water for it to fill. Sitting the glass on top of the water is not. It will remain empty. When you are with a spiritualist, a good teacher in your text, spiritual text, your guru, wherever your beliefs are, dip that mind into those teachings and fill it up with the love of the divine. It will set you free. Humility is simply being a stage of true freedom, a stage of true liberation, bringing grace, courage, and spiritual nourishment. Each day, each hour, each minute, each second of our lives. Please understand one thing. The destination of somebody who is proud, any aspect of, even if they are meditating, spiritual, teaching, going, whatever, if they carry pride and vanity inside them, the end destination will be destruction. Full stop. If you have humility inside you, your end destination is simply a merger into the divine. A merger into the divine. Please value your time. Please value every moment of your life. Life is passing by at hyper speed. And we still have an opportunity. Please use it wisely. Live in spiritual humbleness, humility. Find that company and spend time with them. Thank you very much for listening.